Hey everybody, it's me, Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie. On this episode of CD Junkie, I want to talk about a band called Won the Juggler. Let's go back 40 years ago and talk about their album called Nearly a Sin. Their debut album came out. They were a very unique band. Their sound was, a mix of rock and folk. There's acoustic, there's electric in there, but it's more influenced by people like Bowie and the Faces and Mott the Hoople. It was very rooted in British rock and British folk. And here they were in the early 80s releasing this music where everything around them was, synthetic and, Linn drum machines and Fairlight keyboards or, whatever they used at the time. And I love that stuff too. But they stood out because they weren't using all of that equipment. They were creating natural music, but it was also very otherworldly. The band was made up of Rocco, also known as Sham Morris, on vocals and guitar, Lucy, I should have asked, real name Jerry Thornton-Jones, on bass and vocals, and Lynn, real name Colin Minchin, on lead guitar and vocals. And it was just a wonderful mix of songs. They had other musicians in there. Steve Nicol played drums, and they created an album that, like I said, it was just unique. The LP was released in the US, but they didn't get a lot of attention over here. I think they were on a Trouser Press flexi disc, but I think that's the most advertisement I ever saw. But I loved it. They had great singles, Django's Coming, Are You the One, and of course Passion Killer, which was a hit in the UK. I mean, the album isn't straightforward commercial top 40 pop, but if it had reached a bigger audience, they could have been huge. They were very, very different from what was happening. And before I play you just a little bit off this album, when I started putting together this video, I remember just looking at the booklet and going, the liner notes. Oh my gosh, these liner notes are mentioning groups that I like in it. Oh gosh, yeah, interesting. And then I realized, I wrote the liner notes. I mean, it was a busy time in my life. I was so proud to do this. It's so amazing, but it kind of surprised me. Oh, gosh. But anyway, I want you to hear what they sounded like back then. So I put together about a minute medley featuring just snippets of songs from this album. So give this a listen, and then we will talk about some new music by Won the Juggler. And those are snippets from this album, Nearly a Sin. They did have a second album that was produced by Mick Ronson, but by that time, a couple of the members of the band had left, and it sounded, it had more keyboards and programmed drums and stuff like that. It's a really good album, has some great songs on it, but it just wasn't as unique sounding as this. But then the band broke up. Sham Morris went on to work with Mick Ronson. And in fact, I believe that Sham was one of the people that put together the tribute to Mick Ronson concert that happened shortly after his passing. Jerry Thornton-Jones and Colin Minchin, they went on and they work separately and they work together. In fact, if you can find some albums by a group called Glam Weasel, it's just wonderful. It's an extension of the Won the Juggler sound, but it's more rock and glam influenced, but it's really fantastic stuff. Now, over the years, Won the Juggler would reunite for a couple gigs, and they did some recordings that were released several years ago, but they have a brand new album to celebrate their 40-year anniversary of the release of the first album, and that is called Memoir Days. And this is classic Won the Juggler. It's got Sham, Jerry, and Colin. They were the core members of the band, and it sounds like a fresh take on that classic Won the Juggler sound. There's no denying who this is when you listen to it. If you're a fan of Nearly a Sin, then this is just a logical extension. But it's more mature. In fact, it's more warm. It's more intimate. But it's just a bunch of great songs by these three great musicians that deserve so much of your attention. This is a great band. This is a brand new release. You can stream it digitally. You can download it, and you can also buy the CD. And I'll put a link in the comments below of how you can get a hold of the CD. It is worth your time if you're a fan of the first album. If you've just heard songs over the years, this is classic Won the Juggler. In fact, I put together another medley featuring songs from this album, and I'm going to let you listen to that right now.
We loved it all. We can't say no. We loved it all. We loved it. So goodbye from the riot zone. This protest stuff is getting old. It's all lies, so you might as well stay home. The revolution's on your phone. The revolution's on your phone. She's got all the best tricks up her sleeve. She can make even the cynical believe, with a super cosmic soul and a pure unspoiled heart. La 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 la. Jennifer Heaven, Jennifer Heaven, la 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 la.
And that is it. Won the Juggler. One of the most overlooked and underappreciated bands. I know I say that a lot, but this is stuff I'm passionate about. And this is a band that I've loved for 40 years. And, you know, I collected everything. I collected albums, singles, 12 inches, 7 inches, everything. And it's just great that these three talented musicians, they're still friends and they're still working together and creating stuff on occasion. You know, it's not a full-time thing, but I wish it was. I wish we'd get a new Won the Juggler album every year. I hope that you enjoyed listening to what I played for you, and I hope that it encourages you to check out Won the Juggler. I really appreciate you watching this video. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe to ring that bell for future notifications. And until the next time, remember me. I'm Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie.